Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. David Tatar from Trixel Sport ADCC event, and with me, Mariusz Domasat. Mariusz, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, I know you're a very honorable guest today. I just saw you doing a seminar, but I believe this is not the only function you're doing today. So could you please introduce yourself a little bit to our lovely viewers?
Hello guys, how you doing? My name is Mariusz Domasat. I'm a sports director for Trixel Promotions. My jobs. Okay, because there's a few of them. I'm looking after the fight card. So I'm all the fighters that we got today on the Grand Prix and Super Fight. That's the fighters I brought to the show. I'm also head ref of the event, so I'm running the refs team, and I'm looking after the sports aspect of the event. So that's the main jobs, the main tasks I am doing for the Trixel.
Okay. Sounds like you're a very busy man today. So I saw you doing a seminar, and I saw that your approach was slightly different to the seminars, the sessions I've saw before. I could notice some different techniques that you were teaching to the guys. So could you please tell me a little bit more why they were different, and maybe if they are a little bit more effective, or what's the reason for doing the things the way you do?
So probably the most important factor is that my body is completely broken, and I had multiple surgeries and multiple injuries. That's why every single time when I damage my leg or my shoulder or my hands, my back, I need to figure out how to stay active, how to stay effective in my game, in my jiu-jitsu. And I'm just experimenting and practicing with different approaches, different angles, mixing different styles like catch wrestling, jiu-jitsu, sambo, judo to the submission fighting game. So those things probably will be the main factors why my game is slightly different. And my main goal is always to be extremely efficient in my matches, in my fights, and teaching jiu-jitsu as well. So it's pretty easy approachable for everyone, from white belts to black belts, when I teach. But I think I can say for myself that it's pretty effective as well. And based on this, when I teach and where I teach, the feedback is always very positive. I'm happy with that. And all academies that bring in me for seminars, they always asking me to go back. I just came back from 2 weeks in Mexico. I was teaching over there in various academies. I was helping to build their game. Now I had seminar here at Trixel as well with such a great names like William Tackett and Santeri Lilius. So I'm very happy that I was part of it. And I have events because I'm also A-class ADCC referee. So which means I run the events from the refereeing point of view. Basically every weekend I'm in different country. And by the way, when I'm traveling different countries, I also teach my jiu-jitsu seminars and submission fighting seminars. Yeah, so we can say it's pretty active life.
That's good, but you definitely seem like a person who enjoys this kind of lifestyle. So that's great. I need to ask, have you been a fighter yourself?
Yeah, I still compete. Even yesterday I had a match, but it was unexpected. But the guy, one of the guys asked me, challenge me, so I couldn't say no. Because of injuries, I don't compete so often. But I'm 3 times European champion in ADCC. I'm a champion in ADCC in 6 different countries as well, and multiple national champion in various tournaments. But my main event is I love to compete, is ADCC, and as long as I can, I'll keep competing and I keep staying active.
That's the true fighter spirit. I love that, Mariusz. So how many years of experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and any other martial arts do you have in total, just approximately?
So I started martial arts when I was 9. So it will be way over 30 years of experience. If we're talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it will be way over 25 years. So 1998, that was the year when I started Jiu-Jitsu first. So it's, I'm a OG, I'm a old school guy.
Yeah. Love it. You brought a bit earlier on, you've mentioned Sambo, and the thing that I'm quite interested in light of the recent UFC events, when you see a lot of Dagestani fighters coming into the game, coming from a Sambo background, how much do you think Sambo Sambo affected the way people see wrestling or the ground game in general? Did it affect Jiu-Jitsu as well itself?
It definitely affects my game because, like, you know, when I have an opportunity to train some guys from, like, you know, that region, I always try to, you know, learn from them, you know. I think it's not even about Sambo itself, but it's about, you know, strength and spirit and, you know, approach of guys from those regions like Chechnya, you know, Dagestan, Kazakhstan, you know. Those guys are relentless. They have the, you know, fighter spirit. And, you know, and some of them, they not doing Sambo, they just doing wrestling, you know. They just pure wrestlers, you know. Some of them doing Sambo, especially like the Russian republics, they involved in Sambo, you know. Some of those guys doing just judo, you know, but like, you know, in MMA, obviously, like, you know, they mix in all those styles. And definitely, like, you know, in their game, it's got huge effect, you know, on their MMA because their style will be, you know, based off takedowns and pressure from the top, you know. But obviously, like, you know, guys from different countries, if they have holes in that aspect of the game, they travel to those academies, you know, at the east, and they train with the best fighters over there that fight for UFC, KSW, doesn't matter, you know, the big event, the big federations, and they, you know, and they spreading that knowledge around the globe. You know, this is how it works, you know.
That's amazing. I think it's one of the most wonderful things about the martial arts, the amount of support I can see between the fighters, between the coaches, refs. There is always a constant flow of support going from one person to another, which is absolutely amazing. And, you know, it's great to see when people are supporting each other in those weird times every now and again. So no, that's absolutely fantastic.
100%.
Mariusz, I've been asking these questions to pretty much anyone before, so, well, I can't miss out on you. My first one would be, your favorite finishing technique is?
Reverse heel hook.
Okay, that's the first one I've got. The second question I have, and that could be a little bit tougher, the favorite martial artist of all time is?
I think Lyoto Machida.
Okay. Could you please explain him a little bit?
Lyoto Machida was a UFC fighter. I don't think he's active anymore, but his respect and Bushido, that he was like the code that he was following, you know, was just amazing. And like after every fight, before every fight, he was bowing to every fighter. He was never showing off. He was always respectful to everyone, and that's actually the real warrior. That's something I like, you know. I love, like, that respect and being humble, you know. Doesn't matter how high you are in the rankings, you know, how big name you have, you know. That humbleness was something that I always loved in that character, you know.
That's amazing. So, well, Mariusz, when will we be able to meet you next, whether as a ref or as a coach or maybe as a contestant?
Next weekend, actually, we have ADCC Nationals. So that's in Sheffield, if I'm right, in Manchester, anyway, Manchester area. Week after that, I'm in Polish Championship, ADCC, in Warsaw. Week after that, I'm coming over to Fighting Top Team to teach the 2 days workshops of, like, you know, dark side of grappling. So loads of pain, everyone prepare for loads of pain and suffering, but that's what you want, and I provide this, no problem at all. And then we have Christmas time, and after that I have multiple seminars: Zurich, Stockholm, Amsterdam, Brussels. Oh my God, like, you know, Budapest, like, you know, there's plenty ahead.
Whoa, that's a busy schedule, but love that. Well, Mariusz, thank you very much for your time, much appreciated. All the best in your future endeavors, and stay away from injuries. That's what I wish you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. All the best.
For Traxel Sport, Dawid Tatar.